All right, welcome. Let's be honest. If you're tired of sending your resume out into what feels like a black hole, you're in exactly the right place. Because in this training, we're not just going to give you a few tips. No, we're going to completely deconstruct the way you think about the job search. We'll rebuild it from the ground up with a powerful framework I call the Solution Asset Strategy. This is a total shift in mindset, one that's designed to make you the indispensable solution they've been looking for. So let's dive right in.
Just look at this number for a second. 98%. What does that mean? Well, according to the data, less than 2% of online applications ever lead to an interview. Just let that sink in. For every 100 resumes you carefully craft and send out, 98 of them just disappear. Complete silence. Now, if that feels painfully familiar, I need you to understand something crucial. This is not about you. It's not a reflection of your skills or your qualifications. It is the direct result of a broken system. And in this session, you are going to learn exactly how to bypass that system for good.
Okay, so let's start by really diagnosing the problem. We need to understand why this traditional approach is failing so badly. In this first section, we're going to unpack the big reasons your resume just disappears.
All right, so there are three big things working against you, and they create this perfect storm. First up, just the sheer volume of competition. A single job posting can get anywhere from 250 to over 1,000 applicants. You're just a needle in a giant haystack. Second, and this is so important, you're not even trying to impress a person at first. You're trying to get past a robot. It's called an applicant tracking system, or ATS. This software scans your resume looking for exact keyword matches from the job description. So let's say you wrote manage project budgets, but the system was told to look for financial oversight. Boom, you're out. A machine just filtered you out before a human even saw your name. And finally, even if you get past the robot, the hiring manager is looking at a pile of resumes that all sound the same, full of the same buzzwords. They're just numb to it. The key takeaway here is that the whole system is built to eliminate people, not to find the best talent.
So this is the big pivot. This is the whole game. Think about it. When the front door is locked, you don't just keep banging on it, right? You look for another way in. That's what we're doing here. It requires a total mindset shift. You have to stop thinking like a passive applicant who's just hoping to get picked and start acting like a proactive consultant who is there to solve a specific problem.
And this right here, this is the heart of it all, the Solution Asset Strategy. Now, I really want you to pay close attention to this definition because every single thing we do from here on out is based on this idea. The strategy repositions you. You're no longer someone just asking for a job. You become someone who demonstrates their value up front. We're going to teach you how to proactively find a company's biggest problems and then present them with a real, tangible solution, proving you're the right person before you even sit down for an interview.
Let's break this down even more clearly. Look at the two mindsets side by side. The passive applicant, they send a resume and they hope. The proactive consultant, on the other hand, sends a solution. They don't hope, they start a conversation. The applicant lists their past skills. It's all about, here's what I've done. But the consultant, they prove their future value. They're saying, here is what I will do for you. You see the difference? It's moving from being reactive to being proactive. And honestly, that one little shift changes absolutely everything.
Okay, that's the mindset. Now let's turn this idea into a concrete, actionable plan. We're about to walk through the exact step-by-step process for building your very own solution asset. This is the actual document that's going to get you in the door.
All right, here is the exact methodology. 3 steps. Step 1, deep research. And I mean deep. We are going way beyond the job description here. You need to be digging into their quarterly earnings reports, reading their press releases, finding articles about the challenges in their industry. You're asking questions like, what are their big goals for this year? What are their competitors doing that's causing them trouble? Then, step 2, uncover their real pain. All that research is to help you diagnose the actual problem this job is meant to solve. Is it really about losing customers? Is a key process too slow and costing them money? You have to find the business pain that's keeping that hiring manager up at night. And finally, step 3, craft your one-page solution. This is a super targeted one-page document. Let me be clear, this is not a resume. It's a simple document that says 3 things. Here's the problem I see you're facing, here's my plan to solve it, and here's why you can be confident I can get it done.
Okay, let's zoom in on that second step, uncovering the pain, because honestly, this is the most important part of the whole process. I want you to start thinking of every job description as a disguised cry for help. Your job is to translate all that corporate jargon into a real-world business problem. So, for example, you see a posting for a marketing manager that asks for experience with social media engagement. The real pain behind that? It could be that a competitor is just eating their lunch online, and they're losing young customers because of it. That's the underlying issue.
Your mission is to figure that out.
All right, so you've done your homework, you've built this brilliant solution asset, but it's all for nothing if it just goes into that same black hole. So this next section is critical. It's all about strategy. How do we get this document directly into the hands of the person who actually has the power to hire you?
And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? You start a conversation instead of joining a queue. That queue, that's the 98% we talked about. The people waiting in line hoping to get noticed. The conversation is where the real action happens. It's where you get interviews, and it's where you get job offers. Your solution asset is literally your ticket to skip that entire line and go straight to the conversation.
So how do we actually do this? Here's the plan. First, find the decision maker. And I'm not talking about HR. You need to find the hiring manager, the actual person who owns the problem. Think director of marketing or head of operations. LinkedIn is your best friend here, or even the company's own website. Next, you're going to send them a very short, very personalized message. Now, this is crucial. Do not attach your solution asset yet. The message is just a teaser. It should sound something like this. Hi, Name. I saw your company's expanding into Europe, and I've put together a brief plan on how you could potentially speed up customer acquisition by 15% in your first quarter. Would you be open to taking a look? See that? You're not asking for a job. You're offering value. Your only goal is to get them to say, yes, I'd like to see that. And of course, another great option is to work with a specialized recruiter who already has these direct connections.
Okay, we've gone through the problem, we've talked about the mindset shift, and we've laid out the exact action plan. So now it's time for the payoff. Let's look at the absolutely staggering difference this approach makes when it comes to actual results.
This chart says it all. The traditional method, blasting out resumes online, gets you an interview less than 2% of the time. But with the solution asset strategy, the interview success rate jumps to between 50 and 85%. Let me just say that again. You go from less than 2% to a coin flip chance or better every single time. The numbers just don't lie. That's what happens when you stop asking for a job and start proving your value.
And you know what? It gets even better than that. This isn't just about getting an interview for a job that's already posted. The data shows that when you use this strategy, you are 27 times more likely to have a role created specifically for you than you are to get hired through a job board. Think about why that is. It's because you're no longer just one of 1,000 people competing for a spot. You're creating a brand new opportunity, showing them a solution to a problem they might not even have known how to fix.
So as we wrap this up, it really all comes down to one question. A question for you. Are you going to keep being just another applicant in that long queue, just hoping someone notices you? Or are you going to use what you've learned here, step up with a real solution, and make yourself the obvious, the only choice? The answer to that question is going to define the entire future of your career.